Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we're going to be talking about Ripple and XRP, as well as what's actually happening in the world of finance. So before I jump on in fully into this video, I do just want to make sure that you are all aware of the much larger image here behind the financial system. For the longest time, and I mean for decades, nearly a full century, the financial system has been underpinned and controlled by elites that continue to keep the cycle going. A monopoly system, if you will, that continues to make the rich richer and the poor continue to be scolded and tossed to the side, continuing to slave their lives away with barely nothing to show for it. This is the biggest issue right now around the financial system, but also we are starting to see the cracks show. I believe that 2008 was a significant picture that got painted for everyone to understand just how over leveraged banks are. And it seems with the recent events that they have not learned their lesson. And if you look at banks right now on Google, just type in banks and you go to the news tab, you could see this everywhere. You're seeing failure everywhere around banks. But what you're really not seeing is what comes after this. Because although, yes, I do believe that we are about to be in a financial crisis, I want you all to understand that this is just the beginning. There is a much larger plan at place here. Now let's dive into this. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about the world reserve currency. So, as we go over to this article, this got posted well beyond what we are seeing right now. I think that this was posted. I want to know exactly when this was posted. I believe it was 2018 when this article was posted, but I've been focused on this article for a while because I do think that this is a significant one to pay attention to. As we actually look at the world reserve currencies, we want to make sure that we are paying attention to the timeline on these. And we do see down here the US supplied the Allies in World War II and got paid in gold. After the war, countries linked their currencies to the US dollar, which was linked to gold. The gold standard ended completely in 1971. The US dollar's reserve status remained. Today, more than 61% of all foreign bank reserves are denominated in US dollars. Nearly 40% of the world's debt is in US dollars. Reserve currency status has both benefits and drawbacks. The benefits are lower exchange rate risk and greater buying power, and the drawbacks are artificially low interest rates that can spur asset bubbles. Now, they do mention the six major world reserve currency periods, and here they are all outlined here with the timelines on them. And here's the US from 1921 to today. You notice the average currency span is 94 years. The US dollar presently has been the world's reserve currency for roughly 99 years. Like I said, from the time that this article was posted, a lot has changed. 1921 to today, well, guess what? We are overdue on a world reserve currency change. I do believe that we are on the edge of this. I believe that we are going to see a significant push for a new reserve currency within the next couple months to possibly even years ahead. Why do I believe this? Well, we're already kind of seeing this. As we look at the debt around the US and as we look at the economy outside of the US as well, we know that with what the US has done with the US dollar has essentially crippled other economies. Hence why nations are moving away from utilizing the US dollar. They're done with it. They are tired of the US weaponizing the US dollar as a financial weapon, and ultimately, they are tired of being controlled by the US with sanctions. So, as we do focus on this, I do want to paint a picture on what just recently happened in the last couple days. So, on the 17th of this month, we've seen China's leader will meet with Putin in Russia next week. Iran and Saudi Arabia signed a China brokered agreement last week. Saudi Arabia is importing millions of barrels of diesel from Russia. India and the UAE are collaborating on developing digital currencies. The world is changing. And yes, this is all happening as banks completely crumble. This is a big deal. This is also why I've said, like, I keep telling you guys, like, fiat currencies are not safe. They're just not safe. I also believe this is why we are seeing a significant run up in certain asset classes like crypto and even gold. Gold recently hitting 2,000. Pretty crazy, right? But it's because people are tired of seeing their money basically disappear due to inflation. And also, they are seeing the cracks showing. Right now, fiat currencies, well, guess what? They're just not as strong as they are letting on. I've been saying this. Banks starting to crumble. Banks are not your friend. Remember that. What do you see over here from Zero Hedge? Iran, Saudi, rapprochement will deal a death blow to the dollar. Yeah, we are about to see the petrodollar deal completely crumble. This is the last thread holding the dollar to any sort of value. Without the petrodollar deal, well, guess what? The US dollar as we know it is basically worthless. This will change everything. Now, yes, I've seen the comments. Be careful what you wish for. It's not what we wish for. These are the events that have been happening. Everything leading up to one big boom. That big boom is a new reserve currency. And we do see over here, by brokering a peace deal between Saudi and Iran, China paved the way for both to join BRICS Plus and to end the petrodollar deal. The multipolar order is advancing at a rapid pace while the US government strategy to stop Russia and China from replacing the US dollar as a reserve currency is failing. Yes, this is exactly what is happening right now. The US has fallen behind. They can't stop what has already started. We've talked about this even with crypto. The US government is weaponizing the media stations to tell you that crypto is the problem on why banks are starting to fall. These banks were exposed to crypto. Crypto is a systemic risk. We need to stop crypto. You ever notice just how skewed the media is? The media is not going to tell you that the US dollar, in terms of its reserve status, is at question right now. They are not going to tell you what the BRICS are doing. We've been reporting on the BRICS since last March. This has been a whole year in the making. But also, if you take a step back and look at what Russia's plans were since 2010, you would know that they have been stockpiling gold for over a decade now. I wonder why. But also, the BRICS. Going back to October 4th, we do see over here BRICS working to develop a new reserve currency. I do believe that the BRICS could be extremely successful in this push. Why? Well, guess what? All the leading nations are coming together with an interest to join the BRICS. Once Saudi Arabia makes a deal to join the BRICS, it is essentially game over. We will see the BRICS develop, create, and essentially become the new reserve currency. And this is not a, hey, if that happens, sure. No, it's when, because this is already happening right now. And the US is doing absolutely nothing to counteract this. We continue to, have the mainstream media tell you Russia's bad, that's it. But we're doing absolutely nothing in response to what's happening. We're not even trying to defend the US dollar petrodollar deal. We're not doing anything. It's as if we are letting it happen. Because guess what? The new financial system is on its way. I've talked about this, I've discussed this, and I also do believe that even with the BRICS developing this new reserve currency, whatever currency is becoming the new reserve currency, I do believe that crypto will be the core infrastructure for it. A lot of people think I'm crazy for thinking this, but if we look back in time and we look at all of the new systems that are coming, the Fed now, Or if you take a step back and look at even what the BIS is doing with CBDCs and things like that, all of them pinpoint to DLT, distributed ledger technology. Crypto is becoming the infrastructure that all of this runs on. And as we do focus on that, we also look at what's happening right now. What's going to happen on Monday? Well, ISO 20022 goes live. Now, yes, of course, a lot of people do play into the ISO 20022 narrative a little bit too much than I would like to say. But we did see over here over 11,000 institutions in 200 plus countries will adopt the new ISO 20022 payment system on Monday. Now, with this, I do believe this is going to be big, right? The reason why I think that this is going to be big isn't because of what ISO 20022 means for crypto or anything like that. What I do believe is this is going to be big in the next step that needs to be taken around this new financial system. Well, what do I mean by that? Well, here's David Schwartz. So this got posted by 801_XRP. And ever since I heard this video, it changed my viewpoint on ISO 20022. Remember, I posted this back in November. I said, doesn't matter if ISO pertains to specific tokens like XRP or not. In my opinion, ISO 20022 will open the door for digitization to be realized across the entire financial sector's landscape. And this was talking about, I was quoting Anderson over on Twitter. It was talking about Swift's Phase 2 experiments 2022 in cross-border payments with CBDCs. We do see down here, ISO 20022 especially will be essential. Now, this is centered on rich data and standards, but listen closely to this video on just why ISO 20022 is actually important for crypto. So I just figured I would go and find a better video on this. So I actually just found the full-on video over on YouTube. But listen closely to this video. I'll try to edit out the other one where it really wasn't working over on Twitter. So listen closely to this. This is the video that ultimately changed my perspective on ISO 20022 and just how large it will play in the adoption of crypto and crypto processes.
High quality technologies that will allow institutional adoption. And so we look, what are the blockers? Why can't banks use a cryptocurrency to settle? And the answer is their messaging systems are antiquated. They don't even know like where the money has to go when they make a payment. The messaging isn't even closed loop. It's back in the 70s if you're lucky. And so we focused on building a system called RippleNet, which is an institutional messaging and settlement system that can settle with a digital asset.
So listen to what he just said there, right? He talks about messaging. The messaging around traditional banks, go back to this, 11,000 institutions that are tied to Swift. Messaging, it's extremely antiquated. It's extremely problematic. They can't really pinpoint anything around it. The data sucks. They can't do really much with their messaging right now. As we do focus on this, over here to Swift. ISO 20022 unlocks opportunities for payments with rich structured data. BNY Mellon, co-head of payment products, says it enables faster payments and enhances customer experience. Now, also, that little section there where he does talk about the messaging, listen closely to what he says right after that.
How institutional adoption. And so we look, what are the blockers? Why can't banks use a cryptocurrency to settle? And the answer is their messaging systems are antiquated. They don't even know like where the money has to go when they make a payment. The messaging isn't even closed loop. It's back in the 70s if you're lucky. And so we focused on building a system called RippleNet, which is an...
So they focused on building RippleNet. Now remember, RippleNet outside of XRP. XRP is not ISO 20022 compliant. RippleNet is. So with the upgrade of messaging, well, I shouldn't say upgrade because ISO 20022 has been around for a while, but creating this standard around messaging to allow this closed system to be more open, more interoperable, the data's more rich, it's more readable, etc. It's essentially going to allow them to utilize networks like RippleNet to streamline payments, enhance customer experiences, open the door for more liquidity to be unlocked, working capital will be vast. This will ultimately change everything. Listen closely.
From a client perspective, faster payments is not just faster settlement of the transaction in a payment market, in a market infrastructure, right? It is truly that end-to-end experience from the payments actually being initiated. It's traveled through, all the steps it needs to travel. It gets to the final beneficiary. The final beneficiary has been able to reconcile it and close their open invoice at their end, right? That is what our clients consider fast. It's like when they measure fast, it's that entire life cycle.
So, faster payments, enhanced experiences, changing the entire efficiency of payments. ISO 20022 is going to open the door. It's going to open the door for much larger things than just messaging. This is why I've always talked about ISO 20022 in the same sense of, it's not just about crypto, it's actually changing the entire system. Actually, do you see down here, the ISO 20022 migration is much more than just a new messaging format. It is the start of an entirely new era for payments. And yeah, I do believe that. This is from Deutsche Bank, by the way. This is from a clearing solutions specialist at Deutsche Bank. But there's a few great quotes within this article on Deutsche Bank's website. It really goes in depth on ISO 20022. But to me personally, this is changing everything, and it's also preparing us for the next steps. In my opinion, as we do look at reserve currencies, as we look at this entire system, why the crypto sector should be home to a new global reserve currency. No, I don't think that it's going to be Bitcoin. I don't think that's going to be Ethereum. I actually don't even believe that it's going to be any crypto asset like XRP or anything like that. I believe that a new reserve currency will be digital, though. Whether that be a CBDC, whether that be a stablecoin, I believe that the next reserve currency will be DLT based. I believe that it will be a full on digital currency as well. And who knows, right? Maybe we will scratch the reserve currency standard altogether, and maybe we'll just have stable coins, or maybe we'll have CBDCs. All of these central banks having their own currency, having a bridge currency at the center point for all of it. Hint, XRP could be that. We don't know what it's going to look like. All we know is that Ripple themselves, as a company, has been preparing for the next evolution of everything. They've been talking about CBDCs. They've been talking about, modernizing the entire world of finance. I've talked about CBDCs. I don't like them. In fact, I hate them. I hate the idea of them. I don't think that we need a retail CBDC. But I do believe that they will push it onto us. They will force it onto us. But if we do get it, right, we question on, okay, well, before this actually happens, how can we invest into intricate parts of this that allow the puzzle to come together? That way we can make money at least off of this next evolution. Because, hey, that's what it's all about. Individuals were terrified of the internet. And you had people investing massive amounts of money into, certain internet protocols, internet technology, even companies, etc. They got extremely wealthy off of it. The same way that I believe that we have this opportunity as well, but guess what? It's on a much larger scale because different from the internet, we are changing decade and century old technology. I mean, this is multi-decades. This is well over, anything that you could ever think of in terms of an opportunity ahead. This is probably the biggest one that we have in our life cycle. And I'm telling you right now, everything that we've been reporting on is leading up to the big boom around this new system, around this new reserve currency. Everything is playing out perfectly. And I want you all to understand just how large of an opportunity this actually is. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe to notifications on if you guys want more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As it's up to you all, have a beautiful day or a beautiful night. Wherever you guys are on this before, this has been Nick. Peace out, guys.